Since we're on the topic of this, I have to say, as I was watching Dr. Hughes' discussion while she was on the stand, I think that the gender pronouns that she used when describing the victims or the perpetrators, I was like literally cringing watching it. I kept shutting it, like, I can't watch this. Then I'd open it up again because I'm like, but there's like millions of people watching this. I need to watch this and see what's going on. It didn't appear that she was capable of being objective. You know, those were very clear indications that she had more of a perspective that women were victims and men were perpetrators, and it really was a bad look professionally.
Yeah, that was another thing that came up, and I'm glad that you brought that up too. Yeah, I've seen some critique of that. Do you think that is an indication for you that she is more biased, or do you think that maybe that's just sort of the way that she's sort of like directed her conclusions to sort of help the overall legal team here? Or I don't know if you have thoughts on that.
I mean, I think, you know, you could say that either one is the case. You could say that maybe she's very research based and most of the research was based on women being victims. You know, there's so many explanations that we could possibly give, but how long she spoke, and even when she was asked towards the end, can't men be victims also? And she said, yes, of course, we need to be very careful to not be biased when we're making our presentations, after giving like an hours long presentation that was filled with bias just simply on the pronouns that she was using. And so I think if her intention, even at least on the stand, was to be non-biased, she didn't do a very good job at that.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm so glad Dr. Tracy had a similar experience, because I actually did a reaction video, and I didn't know anyone's reaction to it, and I'm watching it and I'm just like, oh, I actually cut out a lot of my reaction because I was like, I mean, this is embarrassing how like much I'm like cringing, and because she's a super expert in this. So to address your question, Alita, is that at first I thought, oh, she just made a mistake. You know, she just said her, and I thought she'll never do that again. And she proceeded to do that, throughout the thing. And I thought, well, she's a super expert. She knows better. So, and some lawyers actually have been reaching out to me and giving me like, behind the scenes look, not on this case, but others, saying that she absolutely knows what she's doing. She was coached to do this. It was absolutely a strategy to sway the jury. Because, even when, she was asked about, can men be victims? She's like, absolutely, coaches, Boy Scout troop leaders, gay marriages, right. Absolutely. And I'm like, really?
But what about straight, right. Relationships, heterosexual relationships?
Danced around that. And, no rational expert in this field would word it that way. But I will tell you that in my travels with colleagues, there are people that believe that. They'll pander to the notion that men can be victims by women abusers, but I don't think they actually believe it in their soul.
Wow.
And I've been a student in classes like that, and I didn't say anything because I didn't have any power. But I've they'll say, well, yeah, of course men could be victims, but let's just refer to the perpetrator as men and as the victim as, because it's just easier that way. And I'm like, do we have to? And so could she be massively biased? Maybe. I would like to think not, given how much of an expert she is, though.